I'm meeting so many people for a book launch in Bangalore. So something's happening here. I think, when Shekhar and Rajiv asked me to join this panel, and I had seen the book some time back, and I said, what is the relevance of a book written, consisting of columns written 6, 7, 8 years back, put together, what is its relevance today, and, that I wanted to get to the bottom of that. And I realized that there were a number of reasons why this book is very relevant and very topical and very strategic to what conversations are having today. First, I think I would make the point that each column by itself is a gem where he's taken a particular idea and in his, given his 3-minute Supreme Court training, he's been able to put the point of view across. So each column by itself, I think, is a good intellectual input to what we need. But also, I think the way that the book has been put together in terms of the categorization into governance and FDI and corruption and so forth, I think it also provides a framework to look at all the issues that we face today. So I think that again makes it a very valuable book. But most importantly, and I think in some sense alluded to by both Kiran and Rajiv, is that the book is still very, very relevant today. And its relevance today is both good news and bad news. The good news of its relevance is that the set of fundamental strategic challenges facing India have not changed, and that we have to do the same things to really get to where we want to be in terms of our goals. The bad news is that since many of those things have not changed for the last 6 years, they still have to be done, and therefore I think in that sense its relevance comes from both points of view. So I think it's really very relevant, very pithy, and it's very articulate. So I'd like to congratulate Mr. Rambaram on the book. And I think all of us know Mr. Rambaram as someone who's articulate, who reads well, who writes well, whose intellect is razor sharp, whose repartee is very good, who can grasp the situation in a few minutes and put it in a framework. But I've seen him closely in various meetings in Davos. Of course, Rajiv talking about Davos is referring to me because I organized that event in Davos that he's talking about. So, and the thing, no, the main one which you're referring to. Anyway, but I think the thing I like about him is that unlike most politicians, he's simple, he carries his own bag, he's punctual. I once went with him to take a plane and he made sure he was on time at the airport. He doesn't have SPG guys toting guns around him. So I think he's a very different breed of politician, and I think if we really had more people like him in politics, it would be great. And as Rajiv mentioned, he's also a mass politician. He's not a guy coming to the Rajya Sabha route into parliament. He's won a public election many, many times. So I think that's something really remarkable. But I think the book also demonstrates the fact that we must have, as he says, an idea of India going forward. We must have a way of looking at our future, and we must share that way of looking at the future. Unless we all buy into this collective vision of what our future is going to be, we're going to continue to have the kind of stalemate and gridlock that we have seen. And it's very interesting because, I myself am writing a book, and I don't think so many people will come for my book launch. I hope they do anyway. But, yeah, I think I'll get I'm too busy with elections, I think. So, and as a part of this, I interviewed about 100 people across India to get different points of view, and I interviewed a number of politicians. I interviewed Mr. Chidambaram, who was kind enough to give me a call at 8 in the morning. I interviewed Mr. Yashwant Sinha, who was also finance minister in the NDA government. I interviewed Mr. Chandrababu Naidu because I want to get his point of view. And what was fascinating is they all said the same thing. They all had the same agenda for reform. I mean, if you remove the name and just give the transcript, you're not able to say who said what. They all said, we need the reforms, we need to liberalize, we need to create jobs, we need to make it easier to create jobs, we must address education. So I think everybody, there's no